Welcome back here. One organization in San Diego is bringing youth and law enforcement together today to build safer communities tomorrow. With mental health issues and bullying on the rise here, STARPAL is needed now more than ever before. And here to discuss more is the Executive Director of STARPAL, Claire LeBeau. Thank you so much for coming in here, Claire. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We're talking about elementary schools here, right? And tell us why that is so important, and it's so important to be discussing mental health with that age group.
You know, even before the pandemic, we were dealing with a mental health crisis and a rise in bullying. CDC data from 2019 showed us that approximately 1 in 6 youth actually reported making a suicide plan, which is 44% increase since 2009. And also in 2019, 1/3 of all U.S. high school students reported feeling that they were treated badly or unfairly at school because of their race or identity.
Wow, okay.
So that was 2019. Now we're in 2022. 2 years of a pandemic, students have been isolated from school and community resources. Students today are just at exposure to more suicide risk factors like mental health issues, abuse, bullying, and we really need to do something.
Yeah, we do. So, and this is where STARPAL comes in. What is STARPAL and how are they helping?
STARPAL is a private-public partnership, and our efforts are focused on building relationships between youth and law enforcement and having encouraging and open dialogue with police officers while building a mutual relationship in the community. And when elementary schools reached out to us about issues they were having on campus with bullying, we created a 5-session anti-bullying curriculum called Let's Be Pals, and trained San Diego police officers and officers from other agencies to deliver information to the students. Okay,
so these officers go into the classroom and they start that dialogue, they start that connection. What are some of the messages they're leaving the students with?
We're training students how to identify and stand up to bullying, as well as specifics on how to report instances of bullying to a trusted adult. And the program also allows youth to have an open dialogue with law enforcement officers, and that encourages mutual understanding and respect on both the side of the student and the officer.
So they're learning about bullying here, but they're also fostering relationships with the police at a young age, learning that they're people we can trust and that we should be listening to, and this strong message that's going on. I love that. It's interesting because I have 3 elementary school kids, and you have to talk to a 4th grader way differently than a kindergartner. Is that something that these officers are being taught and trained how to do?
That is part of the training, and so far about 800 elementary school students have gone through the training, and really what it gives is the campuses now have a common language around bullying.
There you go.
Thanks to the officer, and the students know how to safely intervene when they see bullying happening. And it's officers that serve in their communities, so it is that mutual back and forth where the students are learning this education about bullying prevention, and hopefully we're able to change the climate of a school by introducing that at a younger age. But also the officers are building respect and empathy for the communities that they're serving, which gives them the ability to be better resources.
Someone that's watching right now at home that wants to have that bullying conversation with their child, I mean, the title, the definition of bullying has changed so much over the years, really. What's some advice you have for some parents at home on how to start that dialogue?
I think that's one of the things that we've seen is the common language around it. So I got to observe the classroom when we talked about the difference between words like rude, mean, and bullying.
Sure.
You know, what is the intention behind words, and just understanding how to have a conversation where you can know what it means if you're being mean, if you're rude, if you're bullying. So creating that common language, and that's one of the things we've set out to do. So we actually have the opportunity, if people want the program in your classroom about bullying from STARPAL, you can go to our website, starpal.org, and request the program for elementary school classrooms throughout the county of San Diego.
And that's what I was going to ask you a little bit about. If there's a school district or there's just individual schools that want to hone in on this, they want to pay a little bit more attention to that, they can just go to the website and then sign up and then work with an officer, or how does that all work?
Yes, we have relationships with every agency throughout the entire county of San Diego, so we will work to find an officer who is in the community that the school is located in, and bring that education to the students in elementary schools.
Claire, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.